Hey guys, welcome to the Deviant Witchcraft show. This week we are going to be talking about road opening and money magic and why the two are relevant and they should always be worked together. If you just watched the show, the little video response that we just did, we talked a little bit about why people's mindsets, why they would rather ask for money instead of casting for it. So we're going to get that into a little bit later. But first, we're going to start with why road opening. What does road opening have to do with money work?
Or what is road opening?
Or what? Okay, what is road opening?
What is road opening? Nimbus.
Nimbus? What? Who doesn't do that,
I'm,
bastard? Road opening. It is a branch of spellcraft that kind of opens the way for you to gain success in a. This is a very, very broad and vague term, but like if you're
oh, great. He froze.
That's what you get for putting them on the spot.
is on this
That's my.
prize, the road to there, and
You totally froze.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
damn it! Oh fuck. Okay, what did you hear last?
Nothing. Damn it. What did you hear last? That's what I heard.
Road opening is a type of spell work.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Road opening is time to spell work. In a business venture, then I would clear the way for that to happen. And this is kind of like, it always goes hand in hand. You don't ever just want to do a road opening spell. I mean, I know people that do, and I know people that have gained success this way, but in my opinion, road opening spellcraft is kind of like an add-on item to another spell. That makes sense.
Yeah. I agree. I concur. And for those who didn't hear the little road opening really is common sense. Road opening. It opens the road. It opens the way. It clears the shit out. Makes a straight path. Or paths that go this way and that way, whatever. But it's kind of like a colonic, you know?
Yep.
Clear the shit out.
Out there. Yeah, a lot of time people talk about blockages or this and that, and this is not working for them, and maybe they cast for something, and blah blah blah, and it's not working. And if you try to do a road opening and then cast for it again, odds are the outcome is gonna be a hell of a lot better.
Right. And I totally lost train of thought. Shit. But yeah, this is what happens.
We just said this. We just had this conversation.
I know, you fucking cursed me. Like, they were making fun of me because I'm like, I forgot, and like, look what happened. Like,
okay. So the reason why we wanted to do the show is we were talking, was it about a couple weeks ago when we were planning out the shows privately, we were talking about the GoFundMe accounts and people's mentality when it comes to money is the big thing. Because a lot of people will not cast for money. So what are some of the superstitions of why people will not cast for money?
can you remind me later, because I want to make sure that we talk about feeding, like, money work. I want to make sure there's something that I want to say specifically about that, but I need to, like, say it out loud. And if they don't remind me, y'all, there's a question and answer thing over here. Please remind me if I don't talk about it before we close. So, money, see, and for any part of witchcraft, or any part, it really has to do with a lot of beliefs, a lot of, like, patterns and stuff that you you take in. So when it comes to money, so many people think money is the root of all evil. Um, so if you're trying to get money and you really do you believe that money is the root of all evil, and you try and cast and you don't have successful castings, or it's not going the way you want, and you find that you do have that belief, and you know that there's something, it's not connecting. You have to get rid of that, that thought. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve to have money. And this happens for a lot of people who are poor, because growing up, I was kind of always told that I would never. There's a place for me, and that's where I will be, and that's that place. I won't be up here with, and I'm just going to say how it was said to me. I won't be up here because this is where white people are. This is where, and I'm just going to say that because that was said to me by many people, because white, rich, wealthy. This is where they are. This is what they do. You are brown. You're a Mexican. This is where you are, and this is where you will thrive, live. You can't be here because that's not what you were born into. That is not where you are. So I really had to fight a lot of those beliefs that are attached to that. And I felt like I could never amount to anything because my place was basically in the fucking fields, or in that mentality. And so when I would try, I would always get by a little, but then I would fall. And I didn't have that foundation to grow anything stable. And that's the thing. It's if you're growing up, and you have to go back to even childhood or teachers or whatever. If you go back and you can pinpoint things that were said to you that around money, around careers, around your life purpose, that were of a negative influence, you can kind of work through those, get rid of them, and your money work will, get better.
This sounds like shadow work.
Huh?
It sounds like shadow work.
Shut up! I thought I heard that correctly.
Another thing is too is talking about the beliefs. A lot of people won't cast for for anything to do with money because they think that Great Aunt Sally is going to die and leave them an inheritance. That is one of the things. When I first started, that was a big thing that was going on around. Oh, someone's going to die. That's how you're going to get your money. You better be careful. You better be specific, and blah 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 blah. And the thing with being
the problem with that is that theory assumes that some of us have rich elderly ancestors that are still living, and
I don't.
I was hoping that was my great aunt. No, I'm just kidding.
But the thing with that too is actually I lost my fucking train of thought. Is when you set your intentions that specific, especially for money, you're cutting yourself off from a lot of things. People don't realize that money magic, abundance, prosperity is not cash. It's not usually cash. A couple of weeks ago, because this is relevant, before Venus went into retrograde, I did some money work because Venus apparently affects finances, which I had just found out before. And my money spell had a road opening candle because I felt like there were some blockages, so I did that. And I did one also for a business and one just for money in general. Within 2 days, was it 2 days, 2 or 3 days? I think it was 4 days, whatever it was. In a couple days, I had somebody signed up with me with It Works, which is one of the marketing companies I'm with. And somebody signed up with me with Young Living. Michael placed somebody under me, so that's technically 2. So that's not cash in my pocket right now, but eventually I will, and that'll help me grow my business. And I also got some late child support payments, which was all money that was owed to me anyway, but it just happened to come in, during that time. There was that little bit of a push to make sure it actually happened. So that is not necessarily okay, money's just popping up in your pockets, out of nowhere.
And that actually shows, that's a really good example, because exactly what you said, it shows that if you don't have that belief, how it works for you. Because I, some people think that I have to have, I do money spell brings cash. But you
Mhm.
get rid of that, I do money spell. Money spell brings me what I need or what I ask for. I don't tell it what to do. I don't tell it how to bring it. It comes to me. So you're open to the different possibilities, and what you received was many blessings, because if anyone, who basically is part of your team, if they start purchasing, if they sign up other people, whatever, you grow. So it builds more money. It gives you a good chance to build more than just what you may initially have, asked for. So again, that shows if you get rid of that belief, you open it up, and that connects with road opening too. It's like if, for those who don't know, like the different beliefs that they may or may not have, you do a road opening. It kind of puts them at bay. It clears them out. So when you do that working, the power that you send like shoots through. Uh,
Right. What it did was the road opening was kind of clearing the way for business prospects, for people that had been thinking about it or wanting to do it and maybe haven't done it yet. Like it was kind of clearing the way in their mind to be like, okay, well, I want to do it. It wasn't me influencing anybody or forcing anybody or anything. It was just kind of making that road clearer from them to make, which is how I did it.
right. Um, and I guess I will be taking some questions. Someone asked, Stephanie asked, is a prosperity spell different than a money spell? Um, I would say
Yeah.
yes, absolutely, because money is specific. Money is like, I need money, money will come to me, and I will have what I desire and what I need. Prosperity, you can be prosperous in many different fields. Like if you want prosperity in your job, that can mean so many different things. In your love life, you can be prosperous in your love life. Um, so it's kind of, yeah, I would say that they are different.
And like prosperity is like if you need a new car. Okay, you have two ways of getting the car. Well, there's multiple ways of getting the car, but the two main ways of getting the car is either you have cash for the car or somebody gives you a car. So a money spell, you're asking for money for the car. Well, depending on how much money you need or your credit and different things, you may not get it, or may not get all of it. But if somebody gives you a car, there you go. Or if you find the right car that you were looking for. If you put that intention that you need a car for this specific amount of miles, this color, this make and model, especially if you do a road opening. If you do a road opening, it will help you find a clearer way to that car, what dealership, maybe somebody down the street who has that car, different things like that. To keep it very, you know, narrow it down, you're really closing yourself off to a lot of things.
hmm Um, a way, like there are so many different ways to kind of open the roads. I tend to use like an orange candle, to support that. But what I will do sometimes, like if I'm doing, let's just do, money work because that's what we're talking about tonight. Let's say I'm doing a money work and I need to open the road. I may light a candle, like an orange candle. I may go to the crossroads, and sometimes I will do my spell and I'll burn it all down, create an ash, and I'll take that to the crossroads and I will throw it. Because and that kind of for me, that seals it. That the road was open, and I throw my work through that road, and I make sure that it happens. So once I throw my work, in the crossroads, through the crossroads, whatever, I do that. I turn around, I don't look back, and I know that what I just did is already working for me. That's one
But
way
also
that I
those
do it.
themselves are road openers. I mean, they are the ethereal all roads lead to whatever you want.
Hell.
I mean, yeah, like I mean, I with me, yeah. Let's go to hell. With me with my money magic, I don't know if I've ever cast a money spell that didn't include a road opening. just because most of my money magic is done with a 5 spot or at a crossroads. And again, in layman's terms, a 5 spot or Queen Cooks or whatever you want to call it is a crossroads. Okay. Um, with that being said, I actually perform my money work on a 5 spot. So for that way, it is strengthened by the crossroads. It is opened by the crossroads. Nothing is blocking its way. Nothing's blocking its path. And when you're attracting, and I do money attraction, which is very, very different than like it annoys the shit out of me when it goes, yeah, I did a money spell, and I was like, oh, well, what did you use as like what spirit did you use for attraction? And they're like, what? And I'm like, no. What did you use? And they're like, well, I used a green candle. Good. I'm glad. What else do you use? And then they proceed to tell me that, and or they're like, yeah, I lit a green candle, and then I burned some HEM, attracts money, and
I have that too.
it's coming. It really stinks, by the way. I don't like it. But I do burn it on my altar, on my money altar. But anyway, my point is that you gotta. It's not money magic is not one of those things you just light a green candle and you say some words and you expect it to happen. That's just not. And people have this weird outlook on things, and we're talking about what the negatives can be with money magic. The positive superstitions that come with money magic are that the money is just gonna appear.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna like. In fact, one of the first money spells I ever read. I was at my cousin's house, and my cousin's not a witch, okay, but she had a spell book, and because Muggles get curious every now and then, and in the spell book, said that if it was performing it, used a green candle, and it listed all the things that you need to use, and then under the green candle, you needed to put an envelope, and within this so and so days, money would appear in this envelope. And I'm like, God, who wrote that spell? Like, that's the most ridiculous thing, because a lot of people think that if you cast a money spell, you're going to find like $500 on the street the next day. Or I'm not saying that's not going to happen, because money has appeared to me like that. But if you have that intention in your head and you have that belief system in your head, that's all the money can go to. That's the only place that the money is focused on, is that you will randomly come on it. We know how randomness goes. It can go really great or it can go really bad. Right. So in that case, you've only attracted money to be found by you in the street, because that's what you were thinking about when you cast the money spell. You didn't perform a road opening, so there's nothing to, kind of speed that along and open the roads for it to happen. So you have just hurt yourself tremendously, and you didn't even realize you did it. When you perform a road opening with a money spell, you need to open roads, all roads, to money, whatever that may be. And you have to be willing to understand that they will come from places that aren't necessarily what you had in mind. Sometimes that, in fact, Blythe knows this, because I think I called her or texted her or something when this happened to me, because I was freaking out about it. I felt really bad, because I cast a money working, and I had a friend that's a preacher, and he came to me and he told me that God told him to give me $100.
Right.
And knowing what I know that it wasn't his God, and that's why it bugged me a little bit. And then I think Michael, but how do you know that it wasn't his God that told him to give you the money? But I mean, I don't know that, but really I thought it was in my head, I thought it was the spell telling him to give me money, and that's just...
Well, it was your spell. Your spell affected his beliefs. Your spell, your witch spirits, whatever, talked to his, hey, the ultimate Jesus witch, whatever, talked to his God. His God filtered it and said, here, this is because that's what they do. Christians do that.
Right. So, I don't know.
Um,
What are ways to open the road? You mentioned an orange candle, but what are other ways that you would do that? Because I think some people, when you say road opening, they're like, "Oh, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about." But yeah,
well, I open the roads, like I will do it very differently depending on what I need and depending on what I have around me. My go-to really is an orange candle because I connect with it so well. Like that's kind of like a ritual for me. Like it's repetition. So when I get my orange candle, it's like automatic. Boom, something's something's going down. We're opening the roads. Watch out. And like I said, I'll go to the crossroads as well. I will take in that energy, and I will travel out of crossroads and kind of open the roads myself, or call upon my spirits and have that be done as well. Another thing, like if I'm at a beach, um, I will. There's a lot of different things I can do at a beach, but one that I will share is I will go to where the water comes up. I will I'll make like a path, like a crossroads, um, and I will either put something like like a symbol or something that represents what's blocking me, and if I don't know what's blocking me, I will just like channel something that kind of puts it all in like a physical form, and I'll put that there. And then when the water comes up and washes it away, it takes it, it opens, and it makes all of that clear. It clears that out of my way so I can do what is necessary. Um, but yeah, I love the beach.
who
I do.
doesn't? It's the best place ever.
I wanted to address the question that popped up. How does the road opening and money magic apply when you're trying to find, in quotes, the job? I would say if you did a road opening to find a job, it would help you to find the I would say listing, or find a person that can help you find the job, the person to talk to, the interviewer, different things, and maybe open the road between you and the interviewer for them to actually call you, pick up
Right.
your resume. If you wanted to do looking for a job and you're dealing with people and interviewing, I would also throw in a sweetening spell. Definitely. Just want to throw that in there. That's not part of, a sweetening spell on the interviewer to make sure that the interview goes even smoother, and so they're more in your favor.
Right, and if you're gonna do a sweetening for that, make sure to add something that is a little tart as well, because you don't want them to get the wrong idea. You want enough sweet to kind of and enough sour to balance it out, so they know that it's a working relationship, it's a working thing.
Never
And
thought of
another
that.
way, yeah,
I usually put that in my words. I don't. Yeah.
different,
Make
so many
yourself
different
look better. like you're
um,
trying like if you go for a job interview and you have cast to get you to that point, and the job, I mean, literally, you have blazed the fucking road open to where, like, in the next couple days, you got this job interview and you go in looking like a slob because you don't take care of yourself. Then don't blame your magic for not fucking getting you the job, you dumb fuck.
Yes.
Like, make yourself look good.
right,
Like fucking care.
Right,
It's
and
like,
and yeah, the sweetening spell will help with that a little bit to make yourself look better and be more in their favor. You always want to back up your mundane, or back up your magical with the mundane. You actually want to hand in the job application. You actually want to do the callbacks. You want to do stuff like that. Somebody's not gonna, more than likely, not gonna knock on your door and say, "Hey, listen, do you want a job?" I mean, anything could happen,
right.
but that's
Um,
not gonna
And
happen.
if it's like a group interview, the road opening will clear them bitches out, and you'll be like the only bitch they see.
Yep.
So that's another thing. It's like if it is a group interview, that is perfect because it will like boom, you're gone. You don't matter. This bitch does. And so you shine. You're strong, and you go in. You do your job. You do the interview well. You have everything else backing you. You get it. Um,
Right.
so that's another way that the road opening will work. It's not just about like clearing beliefs. It will road opening can be a little forceful. It will force things out of your way, or so that you can get to where you need to be.
And that's that's another belief that people have to get over, is that, you know, the whole free will bullshit. Just do it. The reason why we have power, we're able to utilize our power, why we work with the forces that we do, is to make us better, to make us stronger, and to make our lives easier. That is why we do what we do, and also to help other people too. But in a job interview, you're looking out for yourself.
Well, yeah,
And
the only way to help other people is to help yourself.
right. And who's to say that because, you know, Joe Schmo didn't get the job, his next job interview might be his dream job. Like, it might be a good thing that he did not get this job that you just got, because his dream job is right around the corner. So you got to kind of get rid of those beliefs too, that the free will crap.
And that's
no, Muggles don't have free will, so it might as well be you. It might as well be you messing with their free will, or their believed to be free will, because
I don't think anybody really has free will, is my opinion.
Everyone has a limiting belief that keeps you. Everyone that keeps you where you're at.
Right.
It keeps you. There are things that we all deal with that keeps us from having absolute free will. And the witches that have bigger problem like that, they have, you know, they're weaker, but for Muggles there are a lot that hold them down. So, you know.
You know what I don't understand though, is why witches have that belief. Because you're right, those, I was going to say mortals. Well, kind of. The Muggles, the non-magical practitioners, they are not going to think twice about running you over to get what they want. They're not going to think twice. And this goes, you know, with Christians as well. They will pray the fuck, you know, to get what they want. They don't care about you. They will pray for what they want. If they want that job, they will pray for that job. They have no issues with asking for exact specifics to what they need, what they feel they need, what they want. So why do you? Why do witches? What happened where it said that everyone else can do this, but for some reason we can't?
Well, they think it's an unfair advantage. I mean, what's with the woman that's next to you that's going on, pushing her chest out, trying to get the job? I mean, that's a completely different thing, too. I don't know if you can get away with that, Michael. I think I might be able to.
I probably would.
But you know what I mean? Like, or the guy that actually showered compared to the one that didn't. You know, like, it's like, come on. You know?
And there's always somebody who looks better than you, so use your fucking magic to make that not happen.
Absolutely. There was a quote. I'm reading this book called Quitter. Closing the gap between your day job and your dream job. Personal development, because you know I'm all about that shit. But there was this quote, and it kind of fits in if you can apply it correctly. But I really liked this, and I was told like I have to share it, so I'm going to share it, and hopefully I can read. You know, you never know. People position adulthood like it's the end of your life, not the beginning. You've had your fun, now it's time to grow up. You've lived it up, now it's time to start dying. So, if you take that into consideration, that kind of, if you have that mentality, and that does, a lot of people think they have to hurry up. They have to hurry up and live when they're young. They have to do all this stuff when they're young. So when they get older, they can't have fun. They can't have what they want. They can't really build more because they're preparing to die. And that's kind of that quote. It's what it's saying to me. It's like, and that makes sense here, like when you're trying to cast for more, if you have that mentality where you had fun in your younger years, and now you're older, so you kind of have to just settle for what you get, because that's kind of what's being thrown at you, that's kind of what's going to happen. You know, you don't, whatever. You got to get rid of that. You have that mentality, you have to get rid of it, because no matter what age you are, it's the perfect age right now for you. So you have to make the best of it. You can be 75 fucking years old and rich as a bitch. Last year you weren't, but you did what you had to do to get there, and you are having fun. Like, you're living it up. Versus the 75-year-old who lives by that belief, who thinks that they just have to give up now. You know, I have family who who have health issues, who don't try, who just they're older and they give up. I also have another family member who is of the same age and who's mean as fuck, but living it up, doing what they do, strong, and enjoying their time. They're not looking at it as like I'm dying. They're looking at like what can I do now to enjoy this moment. And that applies to your witchcraft when it comes to creating abundance, when it comes to creating money, because if you feel that way, that will pull back anything that you do. It will kind of hinder a lot of things, because why is the universe going to give you money right now? Because you're getting older, you're slowly dying, you're just thinking you're going to settle. So why would the universe bless you with something if you're not going to do anything with it?
Right.
Amen. And we're all fucking dying. Like, theoretically, I mean, I've personally buried just as many 30-somethings as I have 80-somethings. So, just to put that into perspective for you. Just because you think that you're, 45 and you're drying up to middle age doesn't mean that you can stop. And also, if you're stagnant, in a job that is not your dream job and it's not where you want to be, you can make a lot of excuses in your day-to-day life of why you can't get out. But I'm here to tell you, you fucking can, because I was in a very stagnant position where I absolutely despised it. I still have fucking nightmares about shit like that. And what is that? What do you?
This is the field oil, which helps you from Young Living, which helps you with your job situation. That's why I got it.
Blythe has some, and you can order it from Blythe and Michael and Scarlett if you'd like. So, I mean, that's my point. It was like, and I actually even, Michael actually gave me, I wanted a road opening so bad to clear my way to make what I wanted to happen, because I had this idea and what the current career path that I'm in right now. I'm in sales of a certain degree, and the type that I'm in, I make my own schedule. I go in when I want to. I leave when I want to. If I do not want to come in for whatever reason, I don't come in. Granted, if I'm not there, I'm not fucking making money, so I can't complain when my paycheck comes and I don't make any money, because you put in you get out what you put in. And I was in a position before that where I had to be there when they told me to be. I made what they told me that I was going to make. Someone else decided for me what I was worth instead of myself. And that is something that is not easily removed from your life, because those are beliefs that you grow up in. You grow up thinking that, yeah, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a work for this amount an hour, and then I'm going to come home, and I got to go back the next day whenever they tell me that I'm going to go back. And that's really, really hard to break, because that's the cycle we all were at one point in our lives probably accustomed to. I watched my parents do it, so I felt like I had to do it. And I don't, and I haven't been, but that was really hard to break. And it was really hard to break the whole cycle of someone telling me what to do, when to do it, because when you have that freedom, you have to stay self-structured, and that's not something I've had to deal with before. But my point in all that is, don't get stagnant and stop making excuses, because if you are making excuses of why you can't do this, and then you're going to go and cast for money, you're still having those excuses on why you can't bring that money to you. Those beliefs, those deep-rooted fears and routines and issues that you haven't worked through yet, they're going to hold you back magically. They just are. So when you decide that you're worth getting money, and the work you put into it is worth getting out money, that's when that happens. And that's when you add a road opening and says, no, fuck this, I'm going to clear out everything that's stopping me from getting to that goal. And I'm going to reach it. Bam, it's fucking done, and you got it.
Right.
I mean, this is not fucking rocket science. People like to make money magic into this, really, really hard thing to
They
get, and
do.
it's not. Money magic is the easiest branch of magic you will ever fucking cast for, because
Yeah.
money is no longer a physical thing. You can bring it to you and I did not understand this, and I read this, I can't remember what book I read it in, and they were talking about money magic and how it's so easy because now it's based on a credit system. It's no longer physical. There's nothing backing it up in the mundane physical world. So theoretically, money can be brought to you way easier than most things in life because most things have a physical representation. Money no
Right.
longer has the physical representation. We have no money. We have no, fort somewhere holding all our money that, for every piece of gold that's in there, we have a dollar for it. That doesn't exist anymore. We have a
Well,
much freer market.
are
Therefore,
you
manipulate it
willing to
better.
share with everybody what you told us before about your bank account?
Oh,
Yes.
I was going to share
Like
my
that.
experience with that too.
Exactly. So on that note, to where it's not physical, I actually um, thought it's really really cool. But when you see it, you're kind of like, what the fuck happened? I
Right.
actually did a work in not too long ago, and it was probably a month or two ago. And I do money workings really regularly, but for whatever reason, this particular working was just really fucking great because it actually, and it was out of desperation. I will say that it was out of a need. So I was in between jobs and I needed money to be there, and I wasn't physically bringing it in, so I needed it to be there whether I was bringing it or not. And out of that desperation and that need and that goal, actually my bank account showed funds literally, and I'm not talking like $30. I'm talking $200 that was in there that had no money trail. It wasn't a deposit. My wife,
Right.
like, it wasn't that nobody deposited in there. It wasn't on the bank statement. It was literally one minute, and earlier that day we checked the bank account for a reason because we were paying bills, and I think after bills we had like, I don't know, $30 left in our bank account. And at the end of the day, I had like $280. So it's like 250 appeared in my bank account and had no money trail, and we didn't know where the fuck it came from. And the teller, it's not like we could go to the bank and be like, "Hey, where did this money come from?"
Right. Right.
Because there was no way that it could have got there other than fucking it just appeared there. So that to tell you how easy money is to attract, and especially when you're working off that credit system and you will allow it to come to you in any way, not just in a physical way, but any way possible, that can happen.
I
Right. And
think
we were.
also in the same vein, it's very important to be able to protect it because as easy it is for those numbers to get bigger, they can also get smaller. So I think protection is very important when it comes to money too.
Exactly.
Right, we were talking about that what like a month or so ago. That was the money thing, and it's funny because I have the similar things happen to me. Like my account is always having like 50, $60, or it'll be 200, and I'm like, where, like you, I'm like, where is this coming from? Like I freak out because like that's not my money. Like I don't. I'm like, what did I miss? And I go through everything,
Yeah.
and I keep really good records. So I'm like going through everything. I'm matching it with my online statement. I'm like, everything's checked off. Like, where is this coming from? And then I'm like, I realize, like, I always do money work, and so I'm like, thank you
Yeah.
for this. This is, and thank you to me for casting for this. And like you said, Blythe, it's true. We have to protect it, and that's what I was gonna say as well. If you, how am I gonna put this? Spirit, your deities, the universe, however you work, if you ask for something and you do not take it, or you blow it and you don't really use it, they're only going to give you, really, from my experience and from what I've seen, they're really only going to follow through with what you can handle. And if you can't handle it, they're not going to really provide it for you. And if they do provide it for you, you have no idea what to do with it. So if you want more, you have to be prepared to handle more.
Like you have those people that win the lottery, win millions and millions and millions of dollars, and then they're in debt a year later because they don't know how to handle it.
What in
And
my
that's
head just makes me want to slap them because I'm like, you must not know. Like,
And that again, that kind of that goes back to certain people asking just for money. You don't know how to handle it. You get that, you get it, you blow it. Do you get what you actually needed it for, or did you just blow it and you took other people's money? You didn't give them anything in return, so you didn't work for it. There's a lot of different things like that. Someone asked, "Is it possible to get bigger amounts out of a spell, not just like finding $10 somewhere?" And the answer to that, I think we already answered, but of course, absolutely.
right. You should never settle for $5. Like I've heard of people, oh, I did a money spell and I won $5. I'll have a scratch off. Like that's fucking something to be proud of. Like come on.
I seen that post.
That's like the warm up for me. That's like when
I've seen it so many times, but Nimbus, I've seen it so many times. It's like, no, that's not. Go bigger, go home.
right, and and when that happens for me, like I'll get a little bit like that. I'll be like, oh, this is confirmation that it's working. I don't think, oh, this is it. And that's to me when you kind of like fuck yourself over is when you get that little thing. It's like change. You get that, and you're like, it worked. You just stopped your spell, man. You fucked yourself. Me, I'm like, hell yeah. Now where's more? It's coming because this is just the warm-up. I see that if something like $5, $10, I'm like, oh great. This is a confirmation that what I'm doing is working.
Right.
Thank you for this. Now let's get the job done and bring me what I need.
That's why when I did the money spell weeks ago, I had somebody sign up with me with It Works. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, come on, let's go.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then I had the Young Living people sign up. I'm like, oh, wow, that's awesome. I did not expect that. That's cool. Well, I'm not going to get that check till next month. So come on, let's go. Come on, keep going. And then, I got money that was owed to me. It was owed to me. I would have gotten it eventually anyway, but it happened so much. It happened after me not getting any money from this particular person for months and months and months that was owed to me. So yeah, you can't settle for them. No. But at the same time, you do need to do the things that back it up. You do need to, if it's business, you do need to do the follow-ups. You do need to get a hold of people. If it's lottery, you do need to do the lottery. You do need to actually play the lottery. You have to actually do the things.
I think also you need to follow it up with gratitude. I know this is kind of teenagery, but that's fine with me because this is what works. When someone sees that like $5, $10, it's like thank you, really, and you're genuine, thankful for that, and that opens up more communication. It opens the path a little more. It strengthens that bond. See what I'm doing here with my hands? It strengthens that bond, so it pulls more. It kind of widens that connection, so more starts coming to you, and you have to expect it. There's so many people who say don't expect things. No, I expect it to work. I expect it to come to me, and it's not out of like some, I'm not cocky about it. I'm not like arrogant, whatever. I'm not like that. It's like I know it's gonna work because I trust the work that I do. I trust everything that's involved. I trust my deities. I trust the spirits. It's gonna work because I need to thrive. I need to live. In order for me to honor them, in order for me to do what I'm here to do, I have to pay my bills. I have to make money. They're going to make sure that I'm provided for. And that's kind of the mentality that you have to create for yourself. Because if you don't, and you just if you're struggling from paycheck to paycheck and you don't know what's going to happen, that struggle, and I know that struggle, and I kind of still do sometimes, but at the same time, that's a constant battle that you have to fight. That mindset, that mentality. But you can come out of that. You have to learn to get rid of that mentality and be like, okay, I trust enough in my practice because I see results. That $10 I just fucked myself over with, I shut the work down. Next time, I will think that I will be open for more because that's not what I needed. I needed more. But that's kind of how it started. So next time I do my work, I'll learn from this experience now. Next time, I will be open for more. And I will use that correctly for what I asked. Because, again, and I'm rambling, but if you do a working for a specific reason and you ask for money or whatever, and money starts coming to you, and then you use that money for everything but what you asked it for, depending on how you worked that, depending on how you worked that spell, if you tied it to spirits, if you tied it to even deities, uh, they're gonna play with you. They will shut you down. They will make your situation. They will make your situation worse, and it will weigh on you, and it will suck. I've seen it happen to people, and it's not fun. And that's why we're expressing these things, because we've seen these things, we've had them happen to ourselves, and so learn from it and make your situation better, and don't go through the things that we had to, or the people that we know had to go through.
Yeah, don't be stupid. Like, you literally just took that out of my head because you were sitting there talking about it. I was like, specific spell where when you say I need to pay my bills, and then you go and you blow the money that you got from the spell on shopping, and you didn't pay your bills, bam. You're probably, that's not showing gratitude to whatever spirit helped you get that money, and whatever power that you put out in the world to fucking get you that money. And people think all the time that our magic is ours alone. Not necessarily. There are power that you can pull from places, and there are spirits that you can work with that stand alone completely from you. That their power can be added to a spell, but that not be your power at all. So don't assume that you're the only motherfucker in the game here. Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my spell. I did the working, but at the same
right.
time, I used this herb spirit. I used this crystal, and I prayed to this deity, or I worked with this spirit. But this is my spell. I got the money. I'll use it the way I want it. Don't make that deal, and don't be that stupid, because let me tell you, especially if you're working with a spirit and you have that pact, and it is a pact. Let's not call it what it's not. Stop talking to spirit, and stop talking to deity, and like saying, I will do this for you, and I will do that for you if you get me this for this reason, and then you fuck up on both ends. First of all, you didn't use it for what you said you needed it, and then you didn't give them what was asked.
Right.
Man, you're fucked. You got that magic, but I guarantee you they're gonna fucking take that shit away from you.
I think
You may have it today, you will not have it tomorrow.
the most common spirit that's used for that is Saint Expedite. And Saint Expedite is extremely specific and strict in if he gives you what you want, you have to do these specific offerings, and you also have to thank him publicly. He is, I've never worked with him, but as the way I've seen it, he's kind of egotistical, and we know spirits were once human, saints were once human.
Oh.
So you have to do it, and if you don't do it, he will fuck with you. From what I've learned, he will take all that shit away and then some.
Yeah.
And then some. And then that's it. I mean,
I'd do that.
Yeah.
Because you're an egotistical human.
I'm okay with that. If someone came to me and asked me for something and I helped them, and then they just like pissed on it, and I asked them like, okay, I'm gonna do this for you, but there are requirements. You don't follow through, I'll be like, bitch, I'm gonna fuck you up, take all this shit back, and then I'm gonna take more, pull your hair out.
That's called interest. That is called interest.
So before you decide to petition a deity or Saint Expedite or anything, do your research, talk to them, try to talk to people who have also worked with them, do your meditations, talk to them, and then figure out what the best course of action, because maybe you don't need to be petitioning Saint Expedite. Maybe you need to be doing something else.
Right. There's also, there's a few things I want to touch on. There's 2 questions that I want to get to, but I also want to express that eventually you get to a place where you don't slack at all, ever. You can't slack on this shit, but you build such a connection with the spirits that you work for, or work with, or for, I guess, that they will take care of you because they know that you will take care of them. So it's like it ends up being this like lifelong relationship because you will always need money and they will always be there as long as you're doing what you need to do. So it's fine because there are times where I've been like, shit, like I didn't realize the bill came up, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, oh, there it is. I have an answer. I got my shit. Like I'm taken care of, and I have that belief. Like I always know that no matter what, whenever things get rough, I never. I stress a little, but I don't freak out that I'm not going to be able to pay something. I don't freak out that I'm going to lose something. I always know that I will have it. I will be taken care of, and I will do what it takes to make sure that happens. That means I got to go work the street corner. You know, I got to do
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot of people out there that are on a fixed income for whatever reason it is. Usually it's just some kind of physical disability. If you're on a fixed income and you don't have money to do certain things that you want to do, use your skills. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know if something like that needs to be claimed or anything, so I'm not like a legal expert.
Right.
But you use your skills or even the barter system and do different things. You'd be willing to find people that are willing to help you. If you want to start doing readings, start doing readings. You can find tarot cards fairly cheap. You can
But
make
practice and learn before you start doing them.
you can use playing cards. Yes, well, you gotta learn about it first. You can use playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
You can make Leonard cards because it's basically standard. Yeah, I'll use index cards and a pen. You can do different things, and you can try to build up your cash reserves for you to be able to do things, and maybe it'll turn into a business. Who knows? Like I said, I don't know tax wise, or the man or anything.
Right. And depending on what you need, like you said, you could always barter or you can trade in a sense like someone will donate to you. If someone donates money to you, that is different. But yeah, you definitely have to look into that for yourself. There is a question saying, with road opening, do you focus on what you banish instead of what you want to come to you? I don't. For me, I don't focus on anything. Like when I do a road opener, I focus on opening that road. So I don't like focus
Right.
on getting rid of something. I don't focus on bringing something to me. That's kind of what the follow through spell is for me.
But to me, road opening is not banishing. It's always clearing the way for
Yeah.
something to come to me. If I want to banish something, I'm gonna fucking banish it. It has nothing to do with the roads. Or if it's a particular person, you may want to block their roads. You can also do that. You can block their roads if you want them to be locked up. But would never use road opening for banishing. That doesn't really work.
I don't think
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not really banishing. It's more you don't really banish anything. You move it around.
Yeah,
You
Mhm.
might move it out your way, and at the same angle, you may move it out of your way, and move others in your way to get to the path easier.
Right.
Um,
See, so what Michael was talking about earlier with the job interview is you're pushing people out. That's when you're doing the spell. That's not your intention. Your
No.
intention is to get the job. The spell itself may be pushing all these people out of the way. Maybe the job interviewer is a real asshole and he gets sick. So somebody steps in and gives you the interview and they're a lot nicer, and then that's how you get the job. I mean, stuff like that is kind of like that's the spell working.
Yeah, and it's like let's say there's a runway and all these models are on the runway and it's crowded, and let's say the one witch model was awesome, or maybe not that awesome, who knows, but they did a road opening. All those people on the runway would be pushed out. They would still be there. You're not getting rid of them. They would still be there, like you just said. I'm just reaffirming in a different scenario.
Right.
They would still be up on that runway doing their shit. The one would just be able to walk clear through, do the thingy, and walk out, and hopefully they don't fall on those sleds.
Yeah, maybe the bitch in front of her fell, and then it makes you look better. I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so they're still a part of it, and that's good because you're like, haha, look at me, I'm walking right through, and you're not.
Right. Or maybe there's a traffic jam and all the other people can't get to the job interview and you did because you went a different way. I mean, there's so many different ways. If you've done magic, you know that there are so many different possibilities, probably ones that you've never even thought of, and they're going to happen. And you're going to get the outcome that you wanted to have.
Yeah, so, yeah. Like we said, road opening is not vanishing. There's still, whatever you're moving, like Nima said, you're just adjusting it. there's something I can totally say right now, but I'm not going to say because. But yeah, you know, if you laughed, you know. So let's take this one. I like this one. What happened? Oh, okay. This one comes from being raised as a Christian. But do you think that money you receive should be also used to help someone who needs help, or can they get their own? That is a belief. That is something that limits and hinders people.
But I mean, I guess in a way you could see it as, I think it depends on how much it was and what it's for.
Right.
That could also be a way of gratitude as well.
Absolutely.
You could be giving to charity. You could be doing different things with it. Like if I were to win a large sum of money from the lottery, I would definitely give some of it away because that's just my personality. So to me, that's like a way of gratitude. I don't think you have to.
I think you can make that belief work for you because I like giving back. If I won the lottery, I'd be like, let's build something. We're moving and we're having fun. But I would see I have issues with charity because I don't know who to trust and who not to trust. What I would do with the money, like for myself, I would reinvest it into people that I care for. I would help them, start whatever project they're on. I would reinvest it and give it to people that I know who could use it, and will take that and they will do something great with it. I would do it that way, or I'd even sponsor because there's something going on that I trust. I would sponsor a kid and help that way. But it's not something you have to do. I don't think at all. When I do money workings and when I get something, I don't feel like I need to help anyone because I feel like people can help themselves. But if I see someone, or if I feel it like really deep down that I really need to help someone out, like I got this extra money, I can pay for what I need. I have a little left over. I'm gonna help someone out. I'll buy them a book. I will send them something. I might give them the cash. I might go buy someone food. I don't know, but it depends on the feeling. But don't ever. I think the negative in this kind of belief would be the feeling that you have to.
Yeah, and because Christian was mentioned, it makes me think of like tithing.
I kind of,
right. Like, and that's to benefit the church. And if you're going to maybe want to get back to your community, if you have which community, like a lot of people know because I talked about it before, I go to Unitarian Universalist Church. I do give money in offerings. Sometimes it's $2, sometimes it's $20. It really depends on what's going on. I don't have a set amount for that. I do feel good when I give back because, that's where I go. That's where my children are learning. It's that type of thing. But I don't feel like I ever have to. And they never make it like you have to. It's something that you want to do. And another thing is, too, is you can't, when you get money, you can't hold on to it. You can't, cash flows is what I call it, cash flow. It flows. It goes in and out. And in order for it to come in, it's got to go out, too. Like, what fun of it is it just sitting in, you're stuffing it in your mattress? You got to use it. You got to do things. You got to do things for yourself, do things for other people. It's got to go. You can't just hold on to it.
Right. I like tithing. I like the idea, the concept, because I like recycling and investing, especially when you go, I don't do church, but if I did, I'll make a witchy church one day, trust me, I will. But if you did, and you're supporting the church, whatever, and you feel like you want to do that, that's great. But when it becomes like a necessity, you have to tithe 20% of your paycheck, or you're not welcome here, or they're going to put you on blast or something. That's where it's
Mm.
negative. That's where I don't like. But if you feel that's something you do, and a lot of people do, I see a lot of people, a lot of Christians get blessed for it because they have this belief, they tithe, they want to tithe, and it gets recycled. So that's kind of their own limited magic in a sense where they tithe, they put that into the church or they put that there, it gets recycled, they're blessed again. They take that blessing, they utilize it, they have money, they tithe again. You get the picture. So I like it, but there are limitations to it. There are restrictions to it, and I don't like that people feel or they're required to tithe like a certain amount of money. But yeah, anyways, rambled a little bit, but you know what I'm saying. I hope.
Um, I was just gonna. I don't know. You pretty much both of you cleared it out. Does this kind of leads me into like sacrificial magic a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say that is because with the whole Christian thing, and I grew up Southern Baptist, so
Oh,
they crazy, but
Yep.
like
I grew
they
up
believe they believe that
kind of.
um they believe that 10% of whatever comes in should go to God.
Mhm.
And God, in whatever way that may be, you may tithe to a church physically, or you may tithe to, um, I don't know, you may give to a religious organization that helps people, or a nonprofit, or something to that extent, if that's what you want to do for your God. That is fantastic. I think that's wonderful. I don't think you should have to. And I'm selfish. I'm just going to be the first to tell you, when it comes to money, if I need it, I'm going to have to use it. I'm not gonna say, well, I got 150 appeared in my bank account. I'm not gonna pay my phone bill because it's 150 and I need to give, you know 15 of that to the
Right.
church.
You know,
But I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, I do know from personal experience, like me and Lindsay, and if you knew my wife, you'd know this. She loves to shop, but she doesn't like to shop for herself. She likes to shop for other people.
mm-hmm.
So we'll be in places, and money has been like super tight lately. So we'll be in places, and we may just go to the mall because we're meeting friends to have lunch or something, and we may not have the money to necessarily shop. We'll still shop. We'll be like, you know what? That is perfect for Michael. And when we have the money, we're gonna go and we're gonna buy it and we're gonna send it to Michael because we it would be perfect for him. Now, in that way, it's not really tithing, and it's not really charity because I don't consider my friends like charity. But in a
Right.
way, it's like you're giving. I know for a fact that in my friendship with the three people that I'm like really close with, which is Scarlett, Blythe, and Michael, I know for a fact that they have bent over backwards to send me things and like do things for me. So why would I not do that in return? You know what I'm saying? Like, now that is not gratitude if you don't do that. If you just accept, 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 and you don't give back in that way, then that's a problem. Um, and if a spirit requires something of you and you don't do it, that's a problem. Like, I have spirits and things that require certain things. Like Saint Expedite, for we mentioned him, needs this. If you don't do that, he will go. You're right. He will take what he gave you and then some, but there are some spirits that aren't that. They don't care. They're just not going to help you again. They're like,
Right.
Mm.
whatever. You got this one for free. You ain't getting the next one.
Right.
Like, it's just how it is. Or if you make a bargain, and bargains are very, very tricky,
Very
because if you
tricky.
make a bargain with a spirit, they didn't necessarily ask you for a specific thing, but you told them this is what you'll do, and if they accept it, they'll help you get what you need. But when they help you do that, that is when you come on, and that's when you have to give back, and you have to give what you promised, and
Right.
that's if you don't do that, it's a problem. I give regular offering as that when it comes to my spirits. Some like certain things, some like other things. If you don't do that, then you're not living up to your bargain and
And
your relationship.
right. And I think what people also need to understand, which is really common sense, but not so common. Um, when you do start doing things regularly, when you have like an altar where you alter with a, you regularly offer and then you don't, that's a problem too. If you're going to be consistent with something, you have to always be consistent. If something's rough and you don't have something to offer, there's always stuff to offer, but if you don't have the thing that you regularly offer, you can say, hey, this is what's happening. I don't have this. I will make sure the moment that I have the means to get what you need, it will be there. I will offer you this right now, and then you make sure that you get what you need. But you have to always make sure that you follow through with that, especially when it becomes
Right.
something repetitious. I want to get into a little bit of like more like practice, like certain things that they can take and utilize. And but I want before that, I want to talk about feeding money.
Oh yes.
Because I know people know of people who overfeed their money workings. Like they're constantly feeding it, but they're not seeing results.
That's
And
because they're
you,
hungry.
yeah, and like you think, like with the what was that? The lodestone. We talked about that the other night. But when you're
We
doing a
talked
work,
about that like a month ago, not the other night.
really, it felt like the other night. Whatever.
Yeah, it was a
I'm
while
just
ago.
saying. Yeah, it was.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The thing I was gonna say. Okay, totally going off. Anyways, I was talking to my students earlier, and I was telling them time is not linear. So if you can think it, you create it. If you can like, and we're talking about affirmations or something, so I say make sure that you do your affirmations or you do your claiming as it is present tense. So when you're doing money workings, you need to know that the minute you think of it, the minute you ask for it, it's already there. It's on some level, it's created, it's there. So you have to align. That's what you're casting for as well. You have to align with that, and then you got to pull that shit to you. So you have to make sure you get off this stupid, wavelength, and you go over here where this is where you need to be, and you pull it to you. So you have to expect that the minute you think of casting for something, it's already happened. It's there for you on some level. So you just have to pull it to create it in the physical world. That's what I wanted to say earlier. That feeding work, you can't overfeed something, because if you're doing something for money and you're just feeding the spirits or you're offering them, giving them everything, and they're not following through, why the fuck are they going to follow through when they have what they want?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mr. Money only works good when he's hungry. Because you got to keep. I'm just saying. For people that don't know who Mr. Money is, he is my lodestone that is on my money altar.
That could have been taken.
Yeah.
So,
And that was why
I,
when we talked about this, I was like, I have lodestones, but they're in the magnetic sand, and I'll like take them out, get all this shit off. You
Yeah.
gotta make them hungry first before you start using the lodestones.
like I'm we just it's actually this actually comes it's really common sense witchery, but this theory behind keeping a lodestone hungry or keeping a money working hungry is that if someone needs something, they're going to work hard to get toward it. Um, so if you go, okay, I'm gonna feed you, but you got to work hard for it. You got to do this for me, and I'll feed you. And as I feed you, this is how you're gonna feed me. And there's a little bit of a, I don't know, keep them working for it kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
um, involved. But it's very this specific was in hoodoo. They strongly believe in this. Root workers strongly believe in keeping a lodestone hungry because
right.
it's not gonna, if it's full all the time, it's not gonna work for it. So it's that old, really old concept of mine that to put bread and butter on the table, somebody had to work hard for it, and that's kind of the concept behind it. Um, but feeding a working is a little bit different than feeding like a lodestone because it, I don't know. I would feed a working but not necessarily for to keep it hungry or whatever. Because working to me is you're doing it now. That I don't know. I can't explain this. This is hard for me to explain.
Right, and when it was explained to me, I was just like, it kind of confuses me as well. I'm like, but okay, like maybe it was just a misunderstanding of communication, like the words were wrong. But I think you got to think about someone who went to a buffet and they ate everything they could. Their stomach is out here. They are satisfied. They are full. They can't move shit.
They're gonna go
Right.
take a nap.
Yeah, they're lethargic, they're not going to do anything. So someone who is overly full, are they going to work their hardest? No. They can't move. They're
Yeah.
probably going to, their stomach's probably going to split open and it's all going to come just gushing out. Gross. Sorry, but...
But if you get that little skinny guy who has one meal a day, he might work a little bit harder for you to get
Right.
what you need.
That's right.
So
And someone who's not, used to having luxury, you give them a little taste, and then they're like, oh, I like this. I want this. I crave this. And that's
Right.
kind of like where you have to look for different spirits, or you work for look for different energies that are going to be beneficial to you because they crave a certain type of luxury. You can provide that for them, but you give them enough, get them hooked, kinda, and then you're like, okay, when you work for me, when you do this for me, I will definitely honor you with a bigger plate or whatever. But you have to make sure that, and you don't want to suffocate it. And it goes with fire. You put too much shit on a fire, it's gonna burn out.
right.
But
I know this is terrible, but in my head, I'm thinking it's not terrible because it happens. So you might as well fucking talk about it. Pimps will get their they'll get their prostitutes hooked on cocaine or crack, and they'll buy the cocaine and crack for their hoes, but they only give it to them when they've done a good job and they work hard. I'm just saying that's it's not funny. It happens.
And it does happen, and it is kind of funny. It sucks.
You gotta make them bitches work for their fix.
Exactly. And I mean, we're kind of talking, again with the hoodoo brain in mind. That's the shit. It's real and it's life, and that's it's
it's
Cleo
true.
Mail.
And who cares? It's true. It shit happens. Might as well talk about it.
Yeah.
Deviant style.
Oh, I had a thought about a lodestone because I didn't say it while ago when we were talking about the job interview. If you go into a job interview, you need to take this is a good little tip. Take mating pairs of lodestones, and you take a piece with you, and you kind of hide a piece in the office that you would work at for getting the job. And then the lodestones want to be together, so they want you back in that office. So you work it right. The attraction will keep it together, keep that relationship working between that hiring manager and you. So you keep that spirit, those two spirits of those mating lodestones they'll want to see each other again, and that's what you do. It's just
It's
sorry.
just
Yeah, they want to fuck all the time. That's why they're called mating lodestones. Just saying, mating pairs.
so true. It's true.
So, anyways,
let's talk about active, practical things that people can start doing to get the money, honey. Really. We've already talked about a little bit of things, but one thing that I love $2 bills. I love $2 bills, and I have a jar of $2 bills, different coins, and I love pyrites
yes.
so much. I've said it before. I love pyrite, but what I'll do okay, here.
Like I was just to cut you off. I was at the Renaissance Fair last weekend, and I got a 50-cent coin for change, and I was like, yes, you know. I was like, yeah, another one because I do have quite a few. Yeah,
That
pyrite.
pyrite, gorgeous.
You
I
need to
love
have
it.
You have to have pyrite.
I
Elisa,
love pyrite.
Elisa gave me this one, and it stays on my money altar.
So I will get
I
like,
love it.
oh, just got what I have on me. So I would get like money, and
Ooh.
needs to be, quadrupled and then some. But what I'll do is like I'll take my money and I have this abundance oil that I create, and I will rub that on the money. And sometimes I'll break it down into smaller bills, like $1 bills. I'll put it all up, all that money. I will charge it with. I'll use lodestones. I have pyrite that I really love, like this really pyrite that I just absolutely love. I'll put that on my altar. Then I'll get $2 bills and I'll kind of sandwich them because I love my $2 bills and they bring me really like good shit. And I'll do that and I'll let it charge. I will use. I don't use a lot of green candles for this. I really don't.
I
'Cause-
have. Let's see. When Michael sent me a box a while ago, he sent me pennies in it. He sent me 9 pennies. Actually, I only got 8 because one of them must have fell out. So I grabbed one of my own pennies. So I had 9 pennies. I did this money working, and it was for a business thing. And I blessed the pennies. And then what I did was I took 2 of my business cards. I took my business card from my Etsy shop and my It Works business card, and I sandwiched them together. And in there, I put one of the pennies that was blessed with some, I forgot what I used for herbs, but with herbs, and I taped it around, and that card thing stays in my wallet. And then the other pennies I gave or I spent, and I gave, and I spread them out because it was like
Right,
to spread the blessings. So it's kind of like the money goes out, money comes in type of thing.
right.
So
So yeah, that's kind of like what I do with with my money. I was like, I'll bless it, and then I'll keep a chiller bill in my wallet with a bay leaf with some sort of like um, sigil that is for attracting money and abundance, and I'll leave that in there. And then as I spend money, I like let it go, um, with the understanding that as I spend it, it returns to me. And I learned this. I don't remember who I learned this from, but when I hand money away, I try to make sure like the head is facing me, so the money is kind of come back to me.
hmm.
I can't remember who I
That's a
learned it from.
good
I
one.
did one, but I do. I hand it like all like here you go, but the head's facing me, so it's like it's still the eyes are still on me. It's my money. I spend it. It comes back to me, and then some.
I like that. I
So
um I have a money attraction powder. Um, I know you can buy it from a particular company that I'm not gonna say, but they're heavy in hoodoo and root working. Just don't even waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Um, you can make it, and if you know what you're doing and you work with those spirits properly, yours is got to be better. It's just got to be. There's just no way it can't be. In that particular situation, um, my money. I'll just tell you. I'll tell you what I use because you're not going to be able to replicate what I do. So I use
right,
polarized pyrite, which ain't an easy thing to do. So you get ready to work. Um, polarized pyrite with powdered vervain and powdered Ceylon cinnamon. That is the key to this. Like important. Do not use like anything but Ceylon cinnamon because that's the it's sweeter. And not that I don't use like cassia for money because I do, but Ceylon cinnamon is sweeter. It's
it's
more
bitchier.
yeah, it's way better for money attraction. So I will use that. I will put that. Look, I will rub it on my hands when I'm going. I mean, you rub it on your palms. You can sprinkle it in your wallet. When you make a deposit at the bank, you can put a little bit of whatever you're depositing on, whether it be a check or what, and you go right into that. It goes right into your bank account, and that check has that attraction on it. I use that for everything. Also, what I like to do for particular workings for like fast cash is one of two things. One, you gotta buy it, but it's worth the buy and it's worth the money because you will get it back instantly. But it is fast cash, Dorothy Morrison. It's the fucking. I cannot express to you how great this stuff is. If you do not have it, please do yourself a favor and buy it because it is that good. It's
Rich
so
bitch.
good. You got rich
Yeah.
bitch. See, I want rich bitch because
I have rich bitch and I have mistress, and I'm going to be meeting Dorothy next week, so I'm going to pick up some fast cash if she has it for sale.
If they
You know
have rich bitch for sale, because I don't know when that shit.
I will.
I
Get
will
me
send you
some
some.
and send it to me.
I have a
pay
lot
for
of
it.
rich bitch.
Yeah,
So
Mike. Yeah, he did buy a lot.
I will send you some. But
It is so
sorry.
good, and also I was gonna say tuberos. Tuberos is great for money attraction. Like great. It's like it's not so much like it's really fast and it works really good, and so it's like really it's really instant. Like if you want instant cash, tuberose is your way to go. So either get tuberose flowers, which is not easy to get because they're only in season just for a little while, and they're really awesome. They smell really really great. You can use those, or you can do not get tuberose scented oil or some kind of weird synthetic tuberose shit. Do not do that. Don't do it. I mentioned attraction or attracts money, HEM. I want to give you a hint here that I do, and you're probably going to think it's fucking weird, but they have breaks all incense, HEM does, and it's breaks all. But the main component in breaks all is actually tuberose. So the breaks all can be, which tuberose is really good for breaking habits, and it's really good for ending whatever cycle you're on that you want to end. But it's super good for fast cash. So get some HEM breaks all, and you can use it for both because the tuberose in the incense it's excellent to burn on a fast cash working or to add it as a component on your money altar and alternate the attracts money with the breaks all.
Right. Like I do. I see that so pretty.
Oh, it's floating.
Little pretty.
Watch out. It's like the ocean.
That's gold, isn't it?
Uh-huh. I love using gold flakes. But when I do like money working or even like fast cash, I like to use warm essential oils, like warming essential oils, such as ginger. Because when you need something fast, you need something warming. You need something that's going to like speed it up, bring it to you, but at the same time, you need something that's going to protect that money and something that is going to sweeten it. So I like to mix like a warming ginger. I like to use cinnamon. There are a lot of different things that I enjoy using, and sometimes I will get money and shred it. Don't say anything. But or fake money and utilize that, or coins.
No, hold on. Before I light my house on fire. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay, don't light your house on fire. See, shit happens. But what I do is I have like a mason jar, and I put a lot of different coins from different areas. I collected like different like weird money from, not weird money, but money from different countries, and I have that like shredded. So I'm not going to use it because I'm not going to go there. Well, maybe eventually, but this was ages ago. So I have that in a mason jar with some crystals and oil, lots of oil, some essential oils, and I use that as a base for some of the workings that I do or some of the products that I create. But I always make sure to keep that money in there the coins, and I charge it with crystals every once in a while. I'll use like maybe citrine and quartz and pyrite and lodestone, and I'll create a grid, and I will really charge it to do that.
Crystal grids are super good for money.
They are.
They're great.
Yes, for sure. And the crystals like really amp anything that you're doing. They like totally amp it. And I like adding that to a lot of the blends that I make. I will grind them up or get dust, and like I will make sure that I put them into the working, because that will be carried on as long as it lives. I have someone asking, do you make sure that you have physical money in order to do these, or will this also work with PayPal and online transactions? It works with anything. Like if you have a path to money, it works. You just have to treat casting correctly for whatever you do.
On that same note, though, I will say that if you're going to use representation in spell work, use real money. Don't be afraid to use dollars. Don't be afraid to use coins. Don't use monopoly money, because you're not going to get. You don't want to use any. And when I mentioned don't use synthetic like Tubros or anything like that, if you're using a synthetic, then you're going to get synthetic results. That's just in anything that in any working, not just the money working, but if your focus of symbolization and your channel is fake, I'm sorry, just in my opinion, you're not going to get the results that you want. Especially money.
I think.
What about Hellbank notes though? Did you mention that?
That's what I was going to find.
What?
Yeah.
Scarlett sent them to. Oh my God, that was like great timing. Scarlett sent these to me a while back, and I have no idea how to use them. So if you guys could, this is Paradise Bank 10,000, and this is Bank of. Yeah, but I think this is a hell no. I can't read it.
Sometimes.
Bank of the Hell is what it says.
That's
So yes, that is like awesome timing. That's what Michael said, fake money, and I thought of these, and I had to find them. Okay.
And sometimes, like, I agree with you about not using fake money, but at the same time, I've used fake money with great results, but I enhance it with actual real money. What I do with and I don't use fake money a lot, but when I have it around, I'm like, okay, I'll use it to benefit me. But what I will do is usually what I do is write like an affirmation and use it kind of like a check. But I will add real money to it. I will either rub the real money on it to give it, that spirit, to give it that influence, especially if I need a certain number. But I will make sure to couple like the fake money with actual real money, whether that means charging it with the oil that I talked about previously or adding it to something else. But I like sometimes, because let's say like credit cards, like it's plastic, it's fake in a sense, so that will influence a different path. So that's how. I mean, you have to be careful when you utilize it, because you're so true. If you use so much fake shit, you get fake results. If you don't use it properly, if you don't combine things properly in that sense, then the results aren't going to be great. And you have to make sure that you melt or meld the fake with the non-fake, so that it actually creates something. Because again, credit cards, plastic, that's not really the reality. That's not like legit. That's attached to something that is actually legit. So, and really, if you think about it, we could probably use the fake money to work more. Like, I wonder if it would work better with like the credit, like the PayPal, the things that aren't actually physical per se. but I would still kind of couple that with something that is rooted physically here, if that makes sense.
Right, and I agree, but the difference is, I guess, is how you look at it. Because when I hold and when like working with like monopoly money, like it's so clearly not real that it's hard to focus and make it real. Hell banknotes on the opposite end of that, it's very very real to me, very very physically linked to spendable money. Just like
Right.
a credit card. Credit cards, it's linked to spendable money.
Right.
You know, similar to you said like writing a check. Um, this is such a good idea. Writing yourself a check in a money working is like a really really good way to, like, you write your write yourself a check and you fucking make that shit happen. Like, and obviously that's not very good and descriptive of
Well,
what I would do to make it happen. But if you're writing yourself a specific amount, then it's very specific. You need that much. You need that amount for this reason, and you can see it. You know what I'm saying, in your mind's eye, which helps to make the working come to fruition.
I had heard a story. I don't remember when it was, that Jim Carrey, before he started, or when he first started in his comedy career, he wrote a check to himself for like $1 million, whatever it was, and he dated it in the future, like way in the future. And everybody knows how, whatever you think about Jim Carrey, he is making that money, or has made it, is making it now. That was kind of his, like, I'm doing this, this is what's going to happen. And it did happen for him. So that's kind of, like, goes along with what you were saying. I don't remember the specifics of the story because I heard about it a long time ago. But yeah.
And Jim Carrey may be a witch because he's really not that funny. So, you know. So who knows? We don't know.
I that's so true though. All of it, and, you know, and again, it also depends. It depends on everyone and how you connect with everything. But it's, and this is kind of like, don't use fake shit just so you don't like sacrifice and invest the real shit. So if you have real money that you can use, but you're only using the fake because you don't want to use this real money because you're scared, you just set yourself up for failure.
Right.
Use the real deal. You have to sacrifice, you know, let it go a little, invest that, because you're reinvesting. You're taking that and you're believing in yourself. You got to see it. This is what Christians say. What do? See it, believe it, receive it.
Right.
And it's true. That's witchcraft. Like,
it's like people use dollar bills or coins. Now, coins do have a place because coins used to be made of silver. They're not anymore. So I wouldn't use coins now because they don't really have that value. But if you have a 20, use a 20. Don't use a $1 bill. Use a 20 because that's what you want to get. You'll get it back tenfold. You know, like, that's just common sense.
right. I mean, and you're, yeah, exactly. Like, and I can't fucking talk. But if you, okay, let's say you have a $1 bill, you have a $20 bill. If you automatically go to your $1 bill and you feel that's what you should be using, use it. But if you're using that $1 bill because you don't want to use a 20, don't do that.
Right.
You have to make sure you trust yourself and you understand why you're doing what you're doing. But you should not be not using something because you're scared that you're not going to get that, you're going to lose that. You're using the smaller version. That sets your witchcraft. That sets your casting for failure. You're going to get small. You're going to get small shit. You're not going to get big shit because you already told the universe before you even started casting that you're not going to be able to handle the bigger money. You got to start small.
Right, we did talk about that earlier.
Mm-hmm. And that's just
Yep.
a lot of it is just common
And a
Like,
lot of money workings are usually done around the new moon, from what I've always seen, because it's about growth and expansion. So if you want to know about moon phases, what Thursday is the money day. Green, aventurine is another good one, if more for gambling. Keep it in your left pocket is more for gambling.
and if you want to like banish, use the correct moon for that. If you're wanting to see, and this is the thing, if you're doing like a full-on money working, you can open the roads. You can, depending on the moon phase, banish the debt, get rid of the debt, and as the moon shifts and turns, when it comes to where you need to build, you need to do another working to build your credit, to build the bank account, to build something. Because once you get rid of something, it's gone. Therefore, you have to also do something to fill that void. Because if you don't fill that void, the same thing might happen again. You will build more debt, and you'll be in the same spot. So you got to fill it with what you really need. Wow, thank you.
Wow, wow is right.
Couldn't help myself.
Okay.
Okay, so is there anything really that y'all wanted to say or share or express?
No, I think we got. I mean, if people want to continue this topic or have other questions for each other, please put it in the group, and we can continue this conversation in the group. Because I do want to hear what works for other people too. This is just 3 people's experience compared to what we got 2,000 over 2,000 people in the group. Yeah, so put them there. What works, what doesn't work for you. Talk about our beliefs with money. Try to, dispel them.
Yeah, we can start a discussion there because we need to. Let's talk about it because no one should be in struggling or lacking, especially when you're rich, because it's not necessary.
Right.
And
Being
do
rich doesn't mean to suffer. Being rich doesn't mean to suffer at all. And we should never suffer. People think that they deserve to suffer for some reason, which is stupid.
Yeah, and in closing, and I won't say anything else because I'll probably ramble, but you think of the witches of old, you think of the brujerias of Mexico, you think of the witches of southern British Isles, you think of the, you know, fakirs in India. They do not do anything for free. Nothing. They don't do shit for free. You want something from them? They don't do it for free. So stop assuming that your workings are valueless. Stop assuming that you yourself, as a person, that you're valueless. Everything that you do should make you money.
Right.
Money workings have been essential to the magical practitioner for thousands of years. This is not something that is new. People have been accepting money for their workings for years and years. People have been using their magic to get people money and make themselves money for years and years. If it wasn't to make physical money happen, it was like I mentioned, Cleo Mayul for the prostitutes. It didn't make them money. It attracted business.
Mm-hmm.
There are different ways to meet the same end. So if you're having that belief that money magic is not for you, you need to just pick up a fucking history book. Talk to a root worker. Talk to a witch. Talk to a
Right.
bruja. Do not. Well, maybe not talk to a bruja. It depends.
What do you mean?
It depends on the bruja and where they came from. But
So true. So true.
talk to them, and then you get their real life opinion about money magic, and then you form your own opinion based on their experience, because it's absolutely ridiculous that there are witches going around and not using magic for money. We have done it for thousands of years. We don't need to break the trend just because some motherfucker on the other end of fucking delirium is saying that that's wrong and we shouldn't do that, and we're gonna
No.
ingrain this belief inside your head to make you think that we should be held accountable or more accountable than anyone else because people use their skills for money. That's what they do. That's how
Right.
the world works. So it's absolutely ridiculous that we don't. So get
Right.
it out of
And
your
if,
head. It's okay. You get one pass with me. If you think that and you say it to me, you get one pass. After then, I'm just gonna slap you. So
woo.
and that goes
um,
for everybody in the group because you get one pass being stupid, and then I'm gonna go at your ass because you're getting on my nerves.
so true. But it's true. If you, and I'm gonna close this, but if you look back throughout witch history, whether it be legit or not, if you look back at what we were claimed to do, what we do, what we did, um, love workings, love, lust, sex, that was ours. Money in all forms, that is ours. Psychic, communicating with the dead, spirit, communication, that is ours. I mean, I'm not saying it's not others, but that is what we're capable of. That is what we do. There are so many other things that is ours, that we do, that people, that witches today just don't claim. They have, I'm sorry, they have stupid beliefs that prevent them from living, from becoming better. And I hope that everyone enjoyed, our show. And I feel like we've expressed a lot of different things. So it might not be all technical, but a lot of the stuff that we talk about, you can take and you can actually expand on and ask yourself your own questions to better your practice, to become more abundant, to be well off, to do better in your own life.
Just do it. Just do
Just
money magic is one of those things. You get your shit together and just do it. Like
right.
seriously, if you've never done the spells or you don't do a lot of spells, just do it. See what happens. Sometimes you gotta experiment and see what happens.
Right.
That's it. Just do it.
So don't forget about the group. Go join that group. Be active. And I wanted to say something about the group. If you're going to advertise your own books, if you're going to advertise whatever, I don't care about the group, in the group, but do it properly. Do it in the business section for that group because I want to make sure the group stays for discussion, for sharing, for knowledge. So that I
And
have
make sure that's not your only post.
yes, make sure it's not your only post. Like, participate. Because if all you're doing is self-advertising, then you'll be removed. Because we want this group to be about community, about sharing with each other,
Right.
growing. And I'm not going to have different ads all over the place. So make sure that your posts are about engaging with other people. Don't just share pictures, common sense stuff, because we're not that type of group. Another thing is don't forget about the page. The page got to be active as well. We share some stuff there, but we need everyone to be active. And whenever you watch a video, if you like something, you don't like something, do a video response. Engage with us on YouTube because we want to see that. We want to engage with you. So definitely do something. Share because if you are watching, if you are practicing, you have a voice. So share what you have, express yourself, let that be known. And don't forget about all of our other projects. We're always doing like different events, different shows, different classes. So keep in touch with us. We have a lot to offer, and we'll continue to offer it. We also have the Patreon or Patron site set up. What basically we take donations, we give back, but it's helping us to do better videos. It's helping us to invest into better equipment and doing all this for you because we do have our own, we do have our own lives. We do have all these other things, so we have to make time for this. So definitely check that out because we offer different rewards. And we just want to give back. We want to give back, but we also need help in that sense
Do it
to
faster.
yeah, to make it go faster, because we'll do it eventually, for sure, but with your help, we will get there faster, we will be able to help you faster, or, share more and do more. So definitely check that out, and I'll put that all in the links or all the links in the description. And we won't. I don't think we will not have a show next week because
I will be in New Orleans. I'm going to Hex Fest,
she's getting
and I'm
worky.
leaving on Thursday, and I will be gone. And also, Nimbus also has a wedding
My
to
mom's
go
getting married.
to.
Second time.
So it just happened to work out. But the week after that, Michael has voluntold me to talk about Hexfest and the things that I will learn there. And I was thinking too, we'll probably open it up to like a Q&A. That'll probably end up being kind of a random, see where it goes.
Yeah.
Kind of see where it goes. And then we will talk about what we are going to be talking about in September. So
I'm super excited for September and October. We're gonna have so much amazing
Yeah.
information. You guys are gonna like freak out.
we planned out the videos all the way to Samhain. So
They're gonna be awesome.
and yeah, we got them set up. So we'll talk about that in 2 weeks' time. And in the meantime, other things may be going on. I know we've been doing kind of some side videos of more informational stuff, crystals, oils, herbs, stuff like that. So subscribe so you get those updates.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel.
You can
And
always
never
suggest.
know, I might be having a contest. I'm always giving shit away. I love having giveaways. I love like giving stuff away, but my giveaways require effort.
Just
Because I don't like handing it for free, as you know, like you just watched, and I'm totally rambling. But if you subscribe to our mailing list, which is like our newsletter, which we're building, we will start giving away like different, like some oil, some powders, a lot of great stuff we will give away. But you have to be subscribed to the YouTube channel and the mailing list, because what I'm going to do, and I'm going to share this with you, what we are going to do is I will give you clues in the mailing list and on this channel. So you're going to have to pay attention to the shows and the mailing list. Mailing list is easy because you'll just get the email and blah, blah, blah. But the show you have to pay attention to, because I'm going to make it, I'll make the gift, the giveaway worthwhile, but I'm going to make you work for it.
I might pick up something in New Orleans. We'll see.
We might have a little oil from Miss Dorothy Morrison, but I'll show you what I'm working on right now. It's this right here. Oh fuck. This right here. Shit. This is what's kind of poisonous.
Ooh,
And there's a lot of different oils in it,
that box of evil.
but it will be. It is. I'm telling you. So it will be full, but there might be some additional stuff that might not fit that will go into this. So if you want to win this, the first thing we have to do is to get. Oh shit! Hopefully don't break. Is to get our channel. I want to increase it, so we have to get our subscribers up. And I was saying we have like 600 right now, a little more than 600. So when we get to probably like 1,200. Okay, when we get to 1,200, that shit is going somewhere. And you're gonna have to pay attention to everything. But when we get to 1,200, that is gonna be blessing someone, and that is gonna be a really good deal. Because when I give away, I give away. I don't just give you one little shit thing. I give you a lot of.
I know. Oh my
amazing
God! Did you
things.
see the box that he sent to Sunshine Morning Ray? Look at her video. Find her video on YouTube. She got
I'll
the
put
one
that
with
in the
the
description too.
super duper winter box. Yeah.
Michael ain't a cheap trick, but he's worth it. I'm just saying. We get boxes from Michael too.
I know. I'm working on one. You guys are gonna be so excited. I'm working on one, and it's gonna be sad, and you guys are gonna be like, oh. Okay. So thank you for watching, and peace out.